Start my journey off with legendary Largemont Projects. Used to be a wild project back in the days. Not no more. Kinda quiet. Gotta watch how I do things over here. You know what I'm saying? Cause that's Largemont Park right there. It's a small little project, but as small as it is, this used to be a wild ass fucking project. I should have went inside there. I should have went inside there. Damn. It used to be a wild ass project. You see, it's all gated up, you know. Cars on the outside. This shit just bring back memories. We on the top side of Little Haiti, y'all. Largemont Project. We finna go inside of it. You know what I'm saying? Take a little small tour. This is a tour on the outside though. You know. We going inside. Old neighborhood. Old neighborhood. Back in the days. They turn them into townhouses now. They're not projects no more. They're townhouses. You know. They shut these projects down and they sold them to the highest bidders. That's what they did to a lot of the projects in Miami. Outside over there, you know. Like I said, it's a small little project, but this project here is a wild fucking project. A lot of steppers came out of this project here. A lot of shit. A lot of people got killed in here. Projects. Alright, back again. This right here, 79th Street. Used to be the hooker stroll. You know, punks on one side, hookers on the other side. This right here used to be Superstar Roller Tech, the skating ring. And close it down. This is Little Haiti over here. You know what I'm saying? This is St. Mary's Catholic Church. They done took up a lot of this shit over here. Ride past Graveyard Project. This is where your boy Convertible Burt came out of. It's over here. They call it the Graveyard Project because it used to be a grave site. You know, they built these projects over the grave site, so they say. I don't know how true it is, but I'm gonna tell you like this here. This used to be a wild ass projects in the 80s. You know, they shut them down. You know. Right. As you can see, the graveyard. One of the reasons why they shut down the graveyard, you see these railroad tracks? They used to stop the train and rob the train. You know? I mean, you know, break inside the containers and take our stuff out of the containers. You know, that was one of the biggest problems that they had. Right, we're gonna take y'all into the jungle, a neighborhood called the Jungle. You know, it's kind of nicely fixed up now, you know. But a lot of dope selling and a lot of robbing used to go on over here. Oh, the train is here. Oh, wow. This is a good thing I beat the train. Yeah, this is the jungle right here. It's no longer what it used to be, though. You know? A lot of things unchanged. Rises and stuff like that. I mean, it's nice and all for change. It just fucked up. Black people ain't got a piece of this right here. You know, because this is a black neighborhood, so, you know, this shit's supposed to be all black ran, you know? Unfortunately, it didn't turn out like that. Give y'all some more tours of Little Haiti. A lot of people ain't finna take y'all inside Little Haiti. You know, we behind St. Mary's Church. You know, I like gonna take a minute to change. All right, back again. Some parts of just don't get caught up in certain parts, you know. That's all it is to it, you know where you stepping at. When you coming through Little Haiti. These right here, the old school Victory Home projects. These are the schools, these projects, you see them. Man, they done put speed bumps on the road. Hey mama, how you doing? These just little small little projects. It's a small little area. It's not that big. You see these projects when you coming into Miami off of 95 to your right. It was never that bad, much of a bad project because the school was right across the street. You can see the school was right across the street over there. You know, it's like within 100 feet of the school. You can't be acting up, you know. Alright, we're going underneath 95. You know, we in the Liberty City side now, you know. But we ain't talking about Liberty City right now. We doing this for Little Haiti. This is all Little Haiti. Alright, back again. You see 95 right there. You know, like I was telling you, you can see the Victory Home projects across. I tell you one thing, these boys over here, you should stop the train too. You know, this is school I was telling you about, Little River. It's like directly across the street from Little River Elementary. So you know they can't get wild over here, you know. They can't sell no weed or no dope over here. You know. Alright. I'm gonna take you down a little further south. You know, this is like the north end of Little Haiti. You know, I done took you on the other side by the jungles. That was the east end of Little Haiti. This is on the west, on the northwest. Now we heading south. Good, the light green. Hopefully the light down here green. Alright, I'm gonna holler at y'all when we get over there. Alright, we coming south. You know, to the right side, we got Edison Projects. It's another little project. This wasn't all that much of a bad project, you know. A little mishaps here and there. But this was another school, like I say, right across the street from, you know, middle school and the high school, so it wasn't that bad. I'll take you through the neighborhood. If you ever see, this is Edison Projects. If you ever see Fast and the Furious Part 2, and it was riding down the street and it was a dude with the dreads and the golds in his mouth. This was the project that they drove past. That's 95 over there on the other side. This is the projects. It's early in the morning, so I'm doing all this in the morning when nobody's out, you know. Alright, this was the strip I was talking about where they filmed Fast and the Furious Part 2. This was a strip right here. And the dread dude was out in the streets with the mouth full of gold. You know. Now we finna come across the legendary Edison Middle. You know what used to be East Side High on that movie Lean On Me? That was fucking East Side High right here, man. This school was so fucking bad. They decided, you know, to turn into a technical school. That's how bad it is. I'm gonna ride right past it so y'all can see it. It's the gymnasium right here. It's an old school. It used to be a high school. Edison Middle. A bad little fucking school. See, they claim it's a magnet school. Ain't no magnet school. That's the auditorium right here. That's the auditorium. And in the back, they got the band room. You know, this is the other side of Little Haiti. You know, as you can see, they're doing a little fixing up over here too. Spot over there, world famous Chef Creole. Y'all ever in Miami, 54th and 2nd Avenue, y'all holla at Chef Creole. They got the best Haitian food in town. You know what I'm saying? A little spot right here. You know, Chef Creole. Ooh, let me catch this light. All right, now we finna head on the east end. Over here, where we all used to go to. You know, I'm so Miami, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need somebody from Miami that can take y'all through these areas right here. Plus, I used to live over here. You know, this is my old hood, you know. It wasn't just Haitians living over here, you know. I can tell you the history of this place here. Straighten out this camera so y'all can see what I see. This way they used to have Po' Boys Records at over here. They used to have a record place over here. And they used to have King Stables. Used to be a club over here, King Stables. This right here, this is another legendary spot. It's called the Zion Palace right now, but it used to be called Sable Palms Village. You know, this is where they filmed that video with CMB, Hot Girls. You know, the Zion Palace. It used to be Sable Palms though. Sable Palms. This was the spot back in the day. Used to be a whole bunch of hoes used to live up here. Weed spot used to be over here too, you know. Alright, now we coming over Biscayne Boulevard. Now we're in the Morningside area. Alright, y'all lay around. Alright, now we're on Biscayne Boulevard. You know, on the east end, you know, so they fixed up over here, make it look nice. There used to be a hooker stroll, prostitution, you know. But they fixed up over here. Look nice now. A lot of people not selling. They decided to just fix up. Now, these used to be some rundown hotels. They fixed them up, you know. So they figured this is the new Miami now, so they didn't want to sell out. is sold out, and you know all this new stuff you see. You know, I go over it with y'all so y'all can understand. See, like across the street over here, this is something brand new. Damn, what's up with the light? This is something brand new, a little furniture place, you know. Don't nobody really shop there. It's too damn expensive. You know. But like this right here, Sinbad Hotel, that used to be a rundown hotel. Shalimar Hotel, rundown. All these little hotels that's, you know, 2-story, they used to be rundown hotel. They just fix them up. You know, they put a Starbucks over here, which is nice. You know, let me take y'all in the hoods over here. See all them hotels over here run down. They just fixed them up. They want to charge you an arm and a leg. This is Morningside. This is Morningside over here. Used to be cheap to live over here. Now, oh, ain't so cheap no more. Ain't so cheap no more. Man, I used to love coming over here, you know. This is Morningside Elementary. But now it's went up to 8th grade now, K through 8. Oh shit. A lot of things done changed over this side. So they got white folks in the neighborhood now. You know, I mean, things done changed over here. I guess change is a good thing, you know. You can't be the same way forever. You understand? Nice though. All right, I'm gonna end this with a spot where we all used to go when we was kids. You know, we head back out. Gotta watch out for the traffic. Gotta watch out for the traffic. All right. Take you to a spot where we all used to go when we was kids. It's in the same Morningside area. It's like this New Yorker hotel, man. An old rundown. I wouldn't trust these hotels, you know, even now. All right, hold on a second, y'all. All right, back again. This is what I wanted to show y'all, the little secluded area. You got to go through a guard gate. You know, there's no association, but there's a lot of nice looking houses over here. A lot of fancy houses. And these houses used to be cheap back in the days. I mean, not that cheap. It was still a little expensive, but now they're in the millions now, you know. Had an opportunity to buy when they was like in the low 200,000 and 300,000s, you know. And now, see, they got one here for sale. They probably want 800,000 for it. Yeah, Morningside. We still in Morningside. You know. Oh yeah. There used to be a park. The park is over here. park is over here. It's on the coastal. This is called Morningside Park. This is the park we used to go as kids. It's a nice little park, you know. All right, that's it. You know, that's it for now. Now we finna head back up the road. Well, these some nice looking houses. Well, they ain't playing. You know, I never noticed these houses when I was a kid coming here. I never noticed these houses. But these are some nice looking houses. Yeah, Miami ain't the same no more. Everything changing. All right. All right. So this is the end of the tour of Little Haiti, y'all. You know, Little Haiti on Morningside.